Welcome to Lessons Learned Soul Tribe. Today we're going to talk about the ego. The ego was originally in place as a protective measure for us back in the days when we were hunters and gatherers. It was there to protect us from being eaten, literally. However, over time as we evolved, the ego somehow never got the message that it didn't need to do that anymore. So if you had gone through any kind of trauma or any kind of situation, the ego would always step in and build these defense mechanisms that you probably weren't aware of at the time. The only way you become aware of the ego and the defense mechanisms and the different things it's done in your life to protect you, which unfortunately also protect you from being your authentic self, you have to go through these things called triggers. These triggers are experiences where you may be in a conversation and somebody says something to you, and for no reason, out of the blue, you are just like hot, pissed off, angry, and you're on 10. The poor person on the other end of this, though, usually doesn't understand why. So that's usually a really good telltale sign that you've been triggered. Now, the only way to really get to the bottom of a trigger is when they happen, number one, to recognize it and have the awareness about it, but also to keep saying why, asking yourself why, being that objective observer, that detective, where you're drilling down in a non-judgmental way that is caring to find out what's really going on and what's causing this. You know, the more you practice this, the more that your ego will learn to step aside in a way, because the ego never really goes away. But as you learn to manage your ego through the acceptance of who you are and becoming your authentic self, the journey to being who you really are gets a little easier. So I encourage you today to start looking at your triggers, to really start beginning the process of healing those triggers by doing that Sherlock Holmes technique of being objective and keep on asking yourself why until you discover the root of the problem so that the real healing can begin. If you'd like to reach out to me, you can reach me at LadyT777731 at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. Much love and light, Lady T.